Hey guys, this is probably going to be a quick video. I'm going to read a passage from Marcus Aurelius' Meditations and then read a little bit of notes that I wrote a little while back as I was trying to think about and process what I read. So I think it's interesting. It's an interesting perspective, and it can be very helpful, especially in this day and age when there's such a focus on that which is without, the external, all this sort of thing, indulging the external and completely forsaking the responsibility we have to reconcile the internal. So it says here, men seek retreats for themselves, houses in the country, seashores and mountains, and thou too art wont to desire such things very much. But this is altogether a mark of the most common sort of man, for it is in thy power whenever thou shalt choose to retire into thyself. For nowhere, either with more quiet or more freedom from trouble, does a man retire than into his own soul, particularly when he has within him such thoughts that, by looking into them, he is immediately in perfect tranquility. And I affirm that tranquility is nothing else than the good ordering of the mind. So then what I wrote about that is, always provide for yourself this sort of refuge that is governed by the necessary virtues that, when reinforced, can renew your soul and mind and relieve you of any ill feelings toward what awaits in reality. So we have this tendency to, whenever we're feeling some sort of distress or some sort of discomfort or disharmony or angst, which is our spirit talking to ourselves and letting us know that, just as pain lets you know that there's something physically wrong, these sorts of things let you know that there's some sort of spiritual disharmony that you're neglecting to attend to. So, but when we feel this sort of thing, or when we perceive this to be, in those moments when we have the, we're presented with the stimulus that instigates these sort of perceptions regarding these things, then we look to the external. As it says here, we look for vacations, refuge, beach houses, country houses, mountains, any sort of external thing. It could be anything that we look to and turn to and put all of our hopes on to reconcile the spiritual disharmony that we're feeling. And this is, again, in a way, misguided, because you can't look to the external to reconcile the internal. So basically, as it says here, tranquility is nothing else than the good ordering of the mind. If you do the necessary work and you align yourself with the highest vibrations that a properly ordered mind is predicated on, and the elevation of consciousness and the harmony of the spirit and the mind and the emotions and all these sorts of things, then you have a very lush garden for a mind, and then you can retreat into yourself, into your mind, and it will be so rightly ordered and so full of the most beautiful plants and flowers, so to speak, that you need not look anywhere else. No external searching to reconcile the spiritual disharmony that you perceive yourself to be experiencing at the moment. You have the properly ordered and properly orientated and mind aligned with this sort of harmony and virtue and all these sorts of things. So, but it doesn't get that way on its own. And even if you could say that it in fact did start this way, and then as you go through life, your conditioning and all these sorts of societal, environmental factors and things pour into it that which makes it deviate from that original state of grace, so to speak, then now you're in the present moment, you have this disharmony, this disorientated mind, and now it's not going to revert back to that state of grace. And so you have to put in the work to get it there. You have to let go of a lot of preconceptions, forsake the misguided and depraved narratives of the fallen world in which we exist, and it takes a concerted effort to, you need the proper level of detachment as well. You need the proper level of humility, gratitude, all of these virtues, and you need the proper perspective to understand that to seek and to grasp and to cling too much is also a vice. So just know that you can get your mind to the place where it becomes your ultimate retreat, and you never have to feel that way again, where the last place you want to be is with yourself and with your thoughts and alone with yourself. Because we could think about a lot of times in our lives where we were operating from that misguided standpoint, and how much trouble it cost us, and all the stupid things that we gave our energy to and our attention to in seeking to reconcile that spiritual disharmony, when all the while we could have been putting that into working on creating a lush garden in our mind to retreat into. So it is worth it. It does take practice and exercise and a concerted effort, but I think the juice is worth the squeeze. And when you attain that complete ascension of the mind and the spirit, and you can retreat into yourself, you have perfect autonomy, because nothing about your essence is dependent upon anything external to reconcile itself, and that is true freedom in a sense. So keep that in mind whenever you feel this sort of way. Try to develop a mind, and there's many ways I'm sure that this could be done, but a lot of it is introspection, is seeking out those who are wise and those who have tremendous gifts and wisdom to offer up. And you have to approach these sort of things with humility and look for them. And when you look, doors open. Seek and you'll find this sort of thing. So that's what I wanted to say in this video. Tranquility is nothing else than the good ordering of the mind. Remember that. If you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, leave your comments, suggestions, feedback, whatever you have, anything you might be struggling with that you feel comfortable to share. I'm sure others will be happy to read, and I would be happy to read it and leave some advice if I can. Check out my other channel, Ray Rivera. I do music and art. Remember, keep in mind also the name of this channel, It Never Was About You. And this has to do with an idea that came to me, which is a very common idea, but I decided to act upon it and make the most use of my gifts and be a benefit in a positive way to as many as I can. That's my goal, as well as exploring my own consciousness and this sort of thing. But the suffering you go through is meant to forge you in the way that fire does to a blade that is thrust into it. It is an extremely necessary aspect of the human condition, and it is an ultimate blessing if you approach it with a properly orientated mind, again, to extract nothing but the highest of vibrations and the blessings from it, and know that it is meant to allow you to facilitate your ultimate self and be able to engage with the ultimate purpose that God has created you for. And ultimately it's about the effect, the virtues that you are going to extract from it, that are going to enable you to shift your consciousness so that you could have the most profoundly positive impact on others. So keep that in mind as well. And I'm going to cut this one out, and stay tuned for more.